Hi, I'm Wire. Welcome to Wire. Hey everybody, Wire here. We're back. We're going to try to finish this radio off, replace all the capacitors, and see if you can restring this dial, string for this dial. After close inspection of this schematic that I found in the book, I found out that this is not really the correct schematic. I mean, it's the correct schematic, but it doesn't match this chassis. Seems like Zenith and Westinghouse put out the same chassis for their radios, and I just can't seem to find this particular one as far as being able to restring the dial cord on this. The chassis is all the same on them as far as the tube layout and some of the circuitry. I just don't know how to restring this dial, so we're going to be winging it to see if we can get it to work. The main dial string is working. It's just the one that moves the dial up and down on the frequencies that is broke. So we're going to do that last, but in the meantime we're going to be changing all these capacitors out and see if we can get this working. Anyway, let me replace a couple of these capacitors, and we'll get back to I'll get back to you. Okay, we're back. I knew it was only been like half a second for you guys, but it's been about an hour and a half for me changing all these capacitors. You can see we did all the capacitors on the inside except for the electrolytics. I'm going to have to show you how I do those. It's a little tough. The electrolytic is right underneath of here, so I'm probably going to, I have to see what I got to do to change the electrolytic. I did change the capacitors right here, the foil capacitors here. I can't, this tie strip here is riveted into the case. I may have to drill this out to get to the electrolytic capacitor back here. As you can see, all the capacitors have been replaced. Well, not the ceramic ones, but all these foil ones have been. Here. I don't see any other ones in here. I don't think there's anything wrong with the ceramic capacitors. They usually last forever. It's just these paper capacitors here. They get kind of funky after a while, and they turn into resistors, and it lets DC current go through, and we don't want DC current going through this. Other than that, I tested some of the resistors. The resistors are fine. They look fine to me. They test out okay. So we're not going to be replacing any of those, not unless we have a really major issue. The ceramic, some of these mica capacitors, they're still good. We don't have to worry about those. Next thing I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to check this. I'm going to check this electrolytic capacitor out, and see how we're going to rewire that and put these electrolytics in. The electrolytics are much smaller than what's in there now, so let me check them out and we'll get that in there. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm going to have to get this rivet out so we can access this the circuitry to the electrolytic. I'm going to leave this one in here, but I'm going to disconnect it from the circuitry and put these other ones in. So let's see if we can get this off. Okay, we're all done with this capacitor recapping. I started this at 11:45. It's now 3:30. This radio really gave me a fit. I don't know how Zenith does these. Never knew. This thing was built 50 years ago, and I had a hard time getting around everything. I had to wind up disconnecting all the wires to the old electrolytic capacitor. This can one down here, and rerouting all the wires, and they're pretty stable in there. Everything is done here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to hook the antenna back up to this, clean the pots, and fire this up and see where we're at. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. Okay, we're all done. I've got everything hooked up, and I'm going to turn it on. It'll warm up. Now I don't have the loop antenna hooked up to it, so we might get a signal, we might not. I've still got a lot of things to do to this shit. Oh, there you go. That's without an antenna. Okay. I don't know if you can hear that. Like I said, that's without an antenna. Okay. Turned out really nice. It was give me a little fit getting these capacitors in, but it's playing now. Anyway, the next thing we're going to get into is putting a dial string on. I'm going to do a little homework on how this goes on. Like I said, I could not find any schematics or diagrams on how this gets done, so I'm going to play around with it a little bit, and that's probably the only thing we got to do to this. Anyway, fellas, I'll catch you a little later on. Okay, we're going to get the string in this. I could not find a any kind of dial string diagram on how this dial, what the hell's that? How this dial works. I know it goes on here, but I have no clue how it gets strung onto this. So I'm going to be playing it by ear. And to be honest with you, this doesn't even look like. This doesn't even come over far enough for this string to follow this track. Now, all the diagrams that I've found so far says it has another wheel on the inside of this. So, I don't know if somebody replaced this. I just don't know. I also found out when I was with further inspection, I don't know if you can see this, this variable capacitor was tilted this way in the back, and it was turning, but it was making a lot of scratching noises when I turned it on. So with further inspection, I found out it was out of the track in here. Let me see. And what I did is I pulled it down and put it back in the track, and it seems to be working well. It does hang up a little bit when we get down to the lower end of the band, but it's not as bad as it was. So what we'll do is we'll restring this front dial and see if we can get it working, and we'll we'll tune it up, align it, and see if we can get this back in the case and see what it sounds like. Anyway, let me get the overhead camera on, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to try to restring this and see what we get. And I don't know if you guys know, previous video I told you I use a 100-pound kite string for dial cord. The dial cord, I can order a dial cord for this, but it's like $10 just for one strand of it. I mean, it's an exact fit, but I've had a really good success with the kite string. So let's get this going. Really don't know how long of a piece I need. Let me get this made up. I'll be right back. Okay, I did figure it out. It doesn't go straight on. I got to go around. I got the right length here. What it does, it's got to go. It goes through the center of this on the spring. It comes up, goes down. It goes around here, comes up, and then goes back around here onto the spring. So let's try to get this on. Let's see if I can stretch this spring far enough to get this on. Okay, I think that's it. Here you go. Let me try this real quick. Obviously, it's not working as well as I would have liked. Obviously, this is not working. Okay, we're gonna have to go to plan 2, plan B, I guess. Let's try something different. I don't know why this is not going around. Okay, everybody, it's all back together. The dial string was really tough to get. It took me about an hour and a half to figure out how this thing's supposed to go on. I got it from, from process of elimination. It does go up, and now let's turn it on. You do need to put an antenna on this to receive.
Is a vital social hub and a positive force to ease us through life in the time of COVID. I couldn't have said it any better than that, Sean. Thank you so much. Benjamin Garbard of Columbia, thank you so much.
I aligned it. It's good to go.
Anytime, anywhere. But my experience is that if you don't lay out kids and he can sneak up. So
for Kelsey, the tight end. Gene, what'd you think on this one? You know, Tavarius Forrest is
working real good.
Kelsey, but
like I said, you do need an antenna for this, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to keep this out here just for music, but it's one of the hardest radios I've ever had to work on, but it's working real good. Like I said, I did align it, and it's okay. I mean, the thing's 50 years old, and it really is a nice looking radio. Anyway, fellas, I think we're going to do a tool next time. I'm going to give the radios a break for a while. A little bit pricey to get these things up and running. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Oh, by the way, one of the tubes in here, two of the tubes were wrong in here. It had a 6BE6, which was supposed to be supposed to be a 6BA6. No, I'm sorry, 12. It had a 12BE6 in it. It was supposed to be a 12BA6. I had one of those and I replaced it. I put the original tube there. The other one called for a 35C5. I didn't have one of those. I had to leave the original one in there. Well, the one that came with the radio, and that's wrong. It's what's in there is a 12EH6, and I need to get I'm not a 12, a 35E6, and I need to change that out and put the correct one in there. It might be the reason why it doesn't pick up real well, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it is what it is. It turned out pretty nice. Anyway, fellas, like I said, we'll probably do a tool next time, and hope everybody's staying safe. I just found out last night that a family member of mine is in the hospital with COVID-19 virus, so I'm praying for her. Hope she pulls through. I hope all you guys are staying safe, and hopefully we can get through this thing and get done with it. I need to get back to my normal life. Anyway, fellas, have a good one. I'll catch you next time. This is Wired Works. See ya. God bless you all.